At first, I had no idea what I was going to make my senior speech about. These are the words we all dread to hear at the beginning of someone's senior speech. But why do we hate it when people say these words so much? Is it because they're cliche, or because they don't really provide anything for your speech and just take up time? Or perhaps is it because of some deeper belief in our society about people who have trouble making decisions? Let's set the record straight. I have Obsessive Compulsive Disorder, aka OCD. I'm not going to explain the entirety of what this means about me, but one of the big ways that this affects me is that I despise having to make decisions far more than the average person. Whenever I'm presented with a choice between two or more things, I overcomplicate everything. I worry way too much about making the right choice, and when I finally do decide on something, I end up second-guessing myself almost immediately afterward. Living with this struggle all my life has made me notice that society looks down upon people who are indecisive. We are seen as unconfident pushovers who need to be fixed, while our more decisive peers are seen as strong, steadfast, and bound for success. These false sentiments are especially pervasive at my point in life once you reach your senior year. Since once you reach your senior year, you are expected to have a pretty good idea of what you want to do in life, and if you don't, you may be looked down upon or simply deemed odd. These beliefs are ingrained in our society, and they are very harmful, especially considering that extreme indecisiveness is often a symptom of OCD or some other mental disorder. People with these struggles should be uplifted and helped, not looked down upon and left alone. And might I say it, there are actually several upsides to being a slower decision maker as compared to a fast one. Therefore, today I'm going to give you what are, in my opinion, the three biggest upsides to being indecisive. Upside number 1, you get to explore topics and interests that you never normally would. For the longest time, I've pondered this question: what do I want to study in college? And the answer has always been, well, whatever interests me most. But what does interest me most? I don't know. There are so many different topics out there, and I may never know which one I like best, not unless I explore them all. And that's precisely what I did. In pursuit of my dream major and career, I have studied tons of different topics, many of which I love to this day. From marine biology to astronautics, from fashion design to anthropology, and from computer science to theater. If I had been more decisive with what I wanted to do in my life, I may never have discovered how many other interests I have and how happy they make me. Upside number 2, when you do make decisions, they are more informed. Whenever I have to make a decision, I always look at any pros and cons that I can think of for each choice and weigh them against each other in order to make the best choice for me. A lot of the time, I even do additional research on each of my options or ask other people for their input. While I'm sure very many people do this, whether they would consider themselves indecisive or not, it is people like me who tend to take this to a whole new level and invest a bunch of our time into making sure we have all the bases covered when we finally do make a decision. This can sometimes be a bit stressful in the moment, but it actually reduces stress in the long run, since we will be making a very informed decision that we are fully aware of the consequences of, as compared to someone who decides on something very quickly without really thinking too much about it, who won't feel so stressed out in the moment, but will likely feel stressed out later because of the unexpected bad consequences of their decision, leading them to regret their choice. Thinking for a long time before choosing something also just makes the relief and satisfaction you feel after the decision that much better. And finally, upside number 3. Indecisiveness teaches patience and flexibility. Obviously, if you are waiting on an indecisive person to choose something, you must have some degree of patience and flexibility, especially if this person is prone to changing their mind after making a decision. But did you know that indecisive people themselves need this skill just as much? I know for a fact that I can get really impatient with myself when I can't just make a decision and stick with it already and keep on doubting myself for ages and ages. That's why I have to be patient with myself, so I don't boil up with anger and self-hatred. I also have to be flexible because sometimes After I finally make a decision, I end up wishing I had made a different decision, but it's too late for me to change it, so I have to go with the flow. This patience and flexibility not only helps us indecisive people better tolerate ourselves, it helps us better tolerate others too. I believe that these skills I have developed because of my indecisiveness have made it easier for me to do things like compromise with others or help people who are struggling to understand a concept. I understand where these people are coming from and am able to help and comfort them, while those who are quicker at making decisions might be more impatient and stubborn and wouldn't know how to interact with these people. And those are what I believe to be the biggest positives of being indecisive. I hope you enjoyed hearing from me, and to anyone out there who has trouble with making decisions, and especially to my fellow people with OCD or similar disorders, please know that you are never alone and that there is always someone out there to help you through your struggles. We are all in this together, and we will make it out just fine. Now I would like to give some thank yous. To my parents, thank you for quite literally always being by my side, raising me with compassion and wisdom into the person I am today. He isn't here, but to Rory, my brother, thank you for challenging me every day to keep my cool when you are being annoying. I love you with all my heart, no matter how you may act or how I may seem. To my amazing friends, thank you for always being around, whether it be in person or virtually. You were here during my highs and my lows. Even though I will be far away from you geographically, you will always be close in my heart. Assorted trout forever. To my teachers at Elgin Academy, thank you for teaching me so many important lessons, academic and non-academic. I'm so glad that I got to go to a school like this, where the teachers make sure that each and every student's needs are being met and genuinely care about me as an individual. And to all of you who are listening here today, thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to what I had to say. It was an honor to address you all today. I hope you think about what I said today and consider taking it to heart. And before I end my speech, I would like to leave you all with a line from a song from one of my favorite video games, Fire Emblem Fates, that I think relates to my message for you today. You are the ocean's gray waves, destined to seek life beyond the shore, just out of reach. Yet the waters ever change, flowing like time. The path is yours to climb. Thank you.